massive anti-Trump protest is planned nationwide for this Saturday, April 5th. The Hands Off movement has organized over 1,100 events across every state. Organizers expect a large turnout, with nearly 250,000 people having already RSVP'd. The movement aims to fight back against what they see as Trump and Musk's overreach. They accuse them of looting the country for their own benefit. The protests aren't just domestic. International rallies are planned in France, Canada, and Portugal. Several organizations are partnering with the Hands Off movement. Prominent groups like the United Auto Workers and Planned Parenthood are involved. The movement emphasizes a commitment to nonviolent action. One of the main rallies will be held at the Washington Monument at noon. The president of the AFL-CIO is expected to attend the Washington Monument rally.
Okay, let's get this straight. When the Black Panthers showed up with guns, well, we're going to change the law and make it illegal to carry weapons. But later, when MAGA carry guns, well, that's the Second Amendment right. The Constitution says we can do that. When a black man is stopped doing a traffic stop and says that I have a license to carry a weapon and I'm going to show it to you, he's shot because the police said he was threatening his life. He felt like he was in danger. But when a white man is carrying a machine gun or an automatic weapon down the street during a protest and said he's shooting people because he's protecting property, he's a hero. Please, somebody make this make sense. So during all the protests that went on during the George Floyd killing and all the other killings that happened, they knew that it was outside agitators that came in and caused a lot of ruckus and tried to stir up the crowd, turn a peaceful protest into a mob. But what did they do? They kept it hush. Only some videos caught people actually doing it.
Two on Your Side was the first news organization to report specific information about people arrested Saturday night when mayhem broke out during demonstrations prompted by the killing of George Floyd. All of those arrested were from Western New York, but throughout the weekend, police and elected officials all talked about how there was an outside element present at the demonstration, stirring up trouble, encouraging violent and criminal behavior.
What we've seen based on our intelligence, not only here but across the country, there's organized factions that their goal is to take advantage of that mob mentality. They look for these protests, they look to see how many people are attending, then they show up in an organized fashion. It does not take a lot of people to turn a peaceful demonstration into something else.
We have not heard further specifics about those outside agitators, but we did some searching, and there is now an FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force investigation underway in Denver. The police chief there, Paul Bazin, reportedly has acknowledged the feds are assisting to determine if outside agitators may have played a role in rioting in Denver. And reports out of Pittsburgh are the FBI is also looking into similar observations stemming from violence that broke out during protests in the Steel City.
Anyone wishing to cause any issues of violence or criminal damage, destruction to our city, we're prepared to engage them.
Looted, buildings have burned to the ground, and protesters and police have clashed.
Now, April the 5th, they want us to go out there again? I don't think so. I'm sitting my butt home.
April 5th is coming. And before anybody starts romanticizing protest, let me just say it plain as day. No confusion. We are not going out there. Not this time. We are not going out there. A whole lot of people are planning to hit the streets, right? I know y'all have heard the buzz. Chants, signs, cameras, emotions are going to be high. I get it. Hell, I've been out there before. But the last time we marched, what happened? They tear gassed us, shoved elders to the ground, committed vandalism, and then blamed us. They shot rubber bullets at kids, and then had the nerve to call us violent. We showed up with our voices. They showed up with riot gear. We screamed, "Don't shoot," and they loaded that clip anyway. And let's be clear, this administration, they've let us know in no uncertain terms, Black people in the street equals threat. They're looking for a reason to vilify us. They're waiting for a headline to twist. They're hoping for a camera angle that's going to justify their brutality. And what do we get in return? A quote tweet, a statement, maybe a mural, but no safety, no justice, no peace. So no, we're not marching this time. We're not going to give them the photo op that they so desperately want. We're not playing into that cycle. We're not going to give them the excuse that they're so desperate for. We're protecting our people. We're staying home. We're building offline. We're organizing smarter. Because we don't need to be in the streets to prove that our rage is real. So let them march. Let them bait. Let them spin the same tired narratives. But don't let them turn your Blackness into a threat on live TV. April 5th, We sit back, we step back, we stay safe, because survival is resistance too.
What's good, y'all? So I want to address something really quickly because one, this is very important, and two, I'm starting to see my people get a little shaky. And I think that what's going on in the world is currently testing everyone's resolve because we're not used to sitting back, but pay attention to this. So over the past few days, I've been seeing a lot of us asking each other, like, are we really going to sit this out? Are we really not going to protest? We're not going to help? You have to answer that question for yourself, but I do want to make you mindful of something. So this is the first time in recent history that Black people as a collective have decided to sit out the fight. This is the first time that we've said we weren't going to protest, we weren't going to join in. And there's still protests taking part all over the country. Have you guys noticed that there's a very big difference in the way these protests are being conducted? I haven't seen anybody laying out bricks or tools that could be used to deface or destruct property. I haven't seen police gas bombing anybody. I haven't seen anybody being put into vans and disappeared and getting arrested for no reason. None of that has been taking place. And it's funny that this isn't taking place because this is the first time that we haven't been out there. So you need to think about that. These are the communities that are trying to gaslight you into helping and trying to make it seem as if it's all going to be us. We already know that. It's always been us. It's always been that way. But they're doing that because they are afraid to throw the first stone, which we've, a few people have said, but they want us to do it. And they want us to do it knowing what our fate will be if we do. And that's the part I want to focus in on. Everybody understands that when we're on the front lines, that's when violence ensues. We have the right to protest just like anybody else. We have the right to peacefully protest, which is what we do. But do you see the stigma that was attached to the Black Lives Matters protests? People were saying that they were violent and people were attacking cops and defacing property. We weren't doing that. They were doing that. All of that was a setup. So now they're sitting around waiting for us to kickstart this thing so that they can start doing the same things to us again, even though they know that we said we weren't putting ourselves on the front lines like that. They still want you to. Now, if you feel like you need to go out there, you feel led to do that, that's on you. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. I can only speak for myself. I can always speak and advocate from my phone. But like I said, my attention is going toward my people, it's going toward myself, my personal life, and fixing what I can fix and controlling what I can control. But I'm not willing to be so self-sacrificing that I put myself out there when the contrast is so stark. I can see exactly what the differences are between what's taking place now and what's taking place in the past. And I'm not going to be put out there. I'm just not going to do it. Guys, really pay attention to that. These protests are so different. These are the most peaceful protests that I've seen as far as the way that the police and everybody else interacts. Like, we've always been peaceful in our protests, but the way that they're handling these people, nobody's getting treated the way that we normally get treated. But what do you think is going to happen if we put ourselves out there? Pay attention to that, because people are trying to make it seem like it's all about the Latino people getting deported and all that stuff. No, first off, more than just their community is going to be deported. They aren't the only immigrants in the country, but also they already know what happens when Black people are on the front lines, and they really don't care about asking you to do that. Everybody's asking you to sacrifice yourself for them when they wouldn't do the same for you, and they showed us that over and over again. Now, I'm not trying to make us see people as less than human or tell us that we shouldn't care, shouldn't have empathy. We should. But y'all, we cannot keep interrupting people's lessons, okay? Our lesson is to learn to take care of ourselves. We've never done that. Their lesson is to learn how to do the same and how to stand up for humanity as a whole. You can't sit around talking about being human and united and solidarity if you don't exercise that every single day of your life. This is your time to shine. This is your time to get out there on the front lines. And while you're making demands of Black people, make demands of everybody else. We're the only community being punched down on for not wanting to participate when other communities don't participate at all and don't even talk about the stuff. Why do we always get the backlash? Think about that, y'all. They want us to sacrifice ourselves, and I personally am not going to do it. Like, I understand that it's hard for a lot of us because we have so much empathy, but y'all, please, have that empathy toward us. Put us first this time, please.
Yeah?
This message is for Black people and Black people only. We are in a time right now where a lot of people want to take advantage of our emotional and resilience capital that has been built up on the backs of us over the hundreds of years that we have been in this country, because they are in a position where they are finding out that the choices that they made, while informed, were poor choices. And I want to stress with us how important it is for us to practice self-care. And one of the tenets with self-care is prioritizing yourself. We are compassionate as a people by nature. We want everyone to be okay by nature. But unfortunately, we're in a season where we don't have the luxury of worrying about others because of what is on ground for us. And so I would encourage us to be really careful of falling into the trap that is happening right now, where we're being gaslit to believe that we have not supported other communities and we have not been there for other communities, and they have been there for us. And I don't want to go down the laundry list of opportunities that they could have been there to stand with us and to fight with us when it was our community that was under attack, which is consistently the theme in this country. But what they're not going to do now is come in because they are suffering and don't know how to handle this the way we do. Because again, we've been here before. We know how this is. This isn't new to us. We just continue to grow and to thrive in spite of what they throw our way. We're not responsible. And so this is the time for us to have self-reflection. This is a time for us to band together to build something infrastructurally that will last beyond this point, so that we no longer have to be dependent on others for our communal well-being. So I just want to stress that to you all. It's going to probably get worse before it gets better. But for us to survive this next 4 years, and I roll my eyes at that because it's just hard to believe that it hasn't even been 2 months yet. But to survive this next 4 years, we are going to have to prioritize ourselves as a community and make sure that we take care of ourselves. That's all I got.
The devil is a lie.
What do you think about this topic? Remember to be a Berean Scholar, as it is written in the book of Acts 17 verses 11 to 12. Now the Bereans were more noble-minded than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if these teachings were true. It's time to deepen your understanding and see your reflection within the sacred pages. Please click subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with the Berean Scholar channel.